Yeah.
That's typical Maryland weather.
Yeah.
All right, body weight squats for 12, please. Well, at least you guys got a break from that nasty weather you've been having. That
Yeah, right.
20-degree days.
That pause was so I could turn my breathing around and exhale when I'm coming up.
Last two. Very
Okay.
good, Mark. Yes, you did correct that breathing. Good job. Looked great. Down to up dogs are going to be for 3 each next, please.
All right. It puts up a little sign that is annoying when it starts recording, then I can't see. All right.
Good to know.
Up to down dog. Up dog.
I apologize. Down to up dogs. You're correct. Yep. That is the down dog when hips are in there. You got it.
I just said it in reverse. Okay.
You knew what you were doing. And as you are doing, and as we have been doing, roughly maybe 5 to 10 second holds here with each one. You can alter the length as you wish, but somewhere within that ballpark. Looks great. And on this last down dog, try and make sure to relax those ankles and feet a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. I know it's a habit. Very good.
Was that it?
That's good. Yep, go and relax. Quick breather in your resting pose. After you rest, we're going to go into a static glute bridge for 45 seconds.
Oh.
Take your time, though. Yes, I'm sure it felt like springtime at 50,
Oh, yeah.
60
Yeah.
degrees.
It was a little breezy when we went around noon time. But when we came out of the museum around 5:15, sun was still up. Hey, spring is coming. And the breeze had stopped, so it was really pleasant. All right, so we're doing what he calls a glute bridge.
There we are. Clock is
Static.
started.
Static. I guess I don't know what the alternative to static glute bridge would be.
So we have done repetitions for glute bridges in the past as well, where you would
Oh, okay.
push your hips up and then back down. We've done like 10 and 12 reps before those.
Right, okay.
Do you want to hold for 45 seconds or a minute here?
Oh, let's go for a minute. So
Sounds good. Form looks perfect, and as we were just talking about, those hip flexors definitely look a lot looser, a lot longer there in the front. So getting a good stretch, as well as, of course, activating those glutes. You're at 52 seconds.
it's interesting. If I press down on my arms, I can actually go up higher.
True.
I don't understand that.
Go ahead and relax. That was a minute. Perfect.
Oh, explain to me.
So you're just grounded more is all. You have more stability. You would be using those lats to push down actually, and
Yeah.
activate that core base a little more as well.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Look good, Mark. Spider crawls are next for
Oh,
12
yum.
total repetitions.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to my, maybe, I don't know whether I was trying to explain this to my son, but to somebody, what this was. This is from a plank.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started to, since they weren't understanding what I was saying, I had a brief idea of demonstrating it. And then I realized I was in a public place.
Right.
It probably would look a little bit strange. Keep the butt down, Mark. Okay, all right.
Were you in a museum or at that fancy restaurant?
We weren't at the restaurant. So it might have been at the museum at lunchtime. Right, we did have lunch there. And I've lost count.
This will be number 8 coming up. Form looks good, good motion. Last one, Mark.
So question about that. So doing a little bit of that explosive energy thing helps me to, instead of doing this, to instead do this. The difference being whether I'm doing that in the middle of it or not.
So what is your question? Are you asking if that's good
The
or
question, I guess there are two questions. One question is just in the form, is keeping my plank straight important? That is not pushing my butt up, letting my butt go up. Or, so that's one question. The other question was just around using the explosive energy in the last couple of times to kind of keep it going, because begins to flag there around the 10th one.
I'll try to answer both of those questions. So textbook trainer answer would be hold basically a strict plank position and adjust your legs moving. This is intended just to be a mobility movement for hips and hips and glutes. But so it's theoretically you should be stable and your foot just moves up beside your hand and then back. But
All right.
I'm not adjusting you because I don't think what you're doing is wrong. So this is my personal opinion.
All right.
All of the above could be correct, meaning if you're just going to add a little bit of explosive movement in there, you're going to get a little more cardio out of it. And you're dipping your hips down, not in a bad way, but when you get that foot up beside your hand, I realize you're just getting more of a hip flexor stretch when you're doing that in the front of your hips. Yeah, correct.
Right.
So I'm not, that's obviously why I haven't stopped you there either. So it's not wrong. It's just slightly different, if that makes any
sense. All right. So what I'm doing is what I'm comfortable doing.
Exactly. Yeah. With something like that.
And actually, yeah, I'm trying to keep my butt down and doing the explosive thing because it feels good.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Not because it's making it easier, but because it's like, oh, wait a minute, I want to feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that. I realize that that's feeling better for you. All of the above are correct. So good question.
All right.
Very good question. Moving on to pigeon pose.
You'd think I would know this by now.
You're learning sequentially, meaning you're asking a bunch of questions, very good questions, almost every session. And then once you learn those, and again, with this, you're going to hold about maybe 5-10 seconds, and we'll switch back and forth for 2 reps total each side.
So what am I doing once my butt is on the ground?
So you actually found a little more of a progression last session, I believe it was, where you can slowly go down to your elbows or start that motion slow.
Like that.
Yeah. And
yeah. Okay. There's more there.
yeah. Slow. Also, hip movement, meaning laterally from left to right. If you put, in this case, if you put more pressure and lean a little bit into
like that.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You got it.
Oh yeah. Oh hi. Hello.
Yeah. You figured it out.
Don't try to do that the first time.
No, I would not have suggested that to you the first time.
There's much more opportunity here for some. We'll eventually get closer to doing that on this side. Not today.
And as you know, this was the injured hip, and even if it were not injured, just because you're right-handed, generally that right hip is going to be tighter because of the piriformis, which you are stretching in that motion. Yeah, there's a lot more. Given what I can do on the left side versus what I'm going to say is what I'm comfortable doing on the right side, there's a lot more opportunity for further work on the right side. I love that verbiage there. More opportunity for growth, as I would put it. Love it. Very good. And push-ups from knees are next for 10 repetitions.
So my son does an unhealthy number of push-ups.
What would that number be?
He said he did 70 yesterday morning.
Wow. He looks, did I meet him at your apartment?
He was here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I met him. He looks fit. I'm sure he is fit. Knees, Mark, please. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of push-ups.
Oh, damn it.
Last 2 more.
That's it?
Excellent job. Correct. Go ahead and rest.
Okay, so that was better than the other day.
I agree. And again, a little bit of a hiccup with breathing in the very beginning, but you corrected it immediately, pretty much. Again, quick breather here as needed, but mentally you can get prepared for sitting dumbbell bicep curls with 10-pound dumbbells for 12 repetitions.
Okay. Is that what we've been using as the weight before?
Yes, recently, correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
That weight seems to still be challenging for you, correct?
What is? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Remember what we did the other day was we changed the position of the elbows, if that makes sense.
Good memory, but you are thinking of the dumbbell overhead tricep extensions.
Right, I am. What are we doing?
Bicep curls.
Oh.
I apologize if I said overhead tricep extensions.
Seated.
Correct.
Yeah. I still have listening skills to work on.
And I still have communication skills to work on as well.
Yeah, well, it's sort of part of this life, isn't it?
It is.
Just when you think you've got it perfect, you get to be old enough that you start losing it anyway.
Just like when anything you learn, you think you're getting good at something, then you realize there's a whole new level.
Oh, I thought I'd been around this mountain before. You have, but you're up one rank. Now you get to go around again. All right.
Yeah.
So we're doing how many?
12, please, and a little bit narrower stance with your feet. That way we can get those dumbbells.
Maybe a little closer to the edge of the seat as well.
That works. Yeah. And one more cue that we recently added in there for your shoulders and or just for better position. And you just corrected it. You may even already be doing it before I even mentioned it.
Yeah, I was going there. Okay.
You got it?
You can still speak it.
That's good communication, but I didn't have to say it. Yeah. Seven of 12 looks good. That's number 12. Excellent, Mark. Again, taking rest as necessary. Quick breather here. And then we're going to switch to the dumbbell overhead tricep extensions where we altered the position of your elbows.
And we were going, I think, to 7.5 pounds.
Very good memory. I was about to ask you. I thought that's what we talked about. So let's try 7.5. So instead of that, that position where your elbows or arms were extended more this way,
right?
Back to the position you were in originally.
Okay. All right.
Since we're going up in weight, because that 2.5 pounds can make a big difference.
Yep. Oh, I haven't told you yet. My the physical therapy place that I had been going to called me yesterday and wanted to see why I haven't been coming in.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I don't have time to talk about that right now because I was doing something else. Actually, I got like probably 4 or 5 calls yesterday, each of which I said, I'm doing something else right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Very good. Kind of crazy it took them so long to call you back and to question why you haven't been in. Mark, before you lay down, a quick tip on those dumbbells is make them symmetrical with where the adder weight is.
I was going to ask. Okay. It doesn't matter whether it's inside or outside as long as they're the same.
Correct. I really don't know. I think it's probably just preference. And you can figure it out as we go. So obviously we have another 2.5 pounds in here, which is going to be more difficult. But on top of that, with these specific dumbbells, with one of those adder weights on either side of the handle, basically, it's also going to take some more wrist strength to keep those dumbbells stable.
Right, right. I was thinking actually, although this isn't what I did, I would prefer to have that extra weight on the inside. Because I'm going to have to, anyway, yeah, all right, all right. This is hard to do, to keep the abs engaged and the shoulder blades down and the upper chest more upper. Keeping all of that in mind is just extra work. And then we're going to go back to normal straight up here, I think.
Correct.
At the same time that I'm trying to keep the shoulder blades down Gosh, a lot of work here.
So
Just
you are correct, Mark. The only alteration from what you said is this is one of the only few times where I would say that the ab engagement isn't quite as important
Ah,
for exercise.
okay, all right. So the shoulder blades are more important.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good to know, because I find that keeping the shoulder blades engaged, the abdomen is just kind of like, yeah, in the background there. All right, we've talked about this long enough, Mark. Of course, you can just go slower too, which actually is more work.
It is. Probably a little safer, but
Yeah, well, that would be why we're doing it that way.
I totally agree. And we're going to try for 10 repetitions here instead of the 12 that you were doing with the 5-pound dumbbells. So far, looks great.
It's definitely heavier.
I see you concentrating on that shoulder stability. That was number 6, I believe. 7 coming up. Good control.
Aha.
There you go. Last 2, good adjustment with those shoulders again. Good job, Mario. That's 10.
A little bit of a burn there.
That's a better weight. Which would not have been possible if we were not practicing with the 5.5, even though it was slightly light for you at 5 pounds. I apologize, 5 pounds. But great. Good job. Take a breather, but then we're moving on to the sitting stability ball roll outs. Yeah, should have felt those in those triceps for sure. You got it.
I don't think I need that heater on. Hold on a second.
Things are heating up over there in Maryland, huh?
Yeah, well, briefly. Hey, I was born in this month, so I'm very familiar with at least twice in my 10 to 20-year-old decade, we were having a birthday party at the house I grew up in, and somebody noticed that it started to snow, and the party was over because everybody had like, okay, I guess it's gonna, what they said is gonna happen is gonna happen. Then we would have 10 or 12 inches of snow.
Happy birthday again, Mark. Happy birthday again.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you got it. And like we did last session, 2 essentially rounds. Again, thinking with maybe 5-second hold at full extension and to each direction. Again, you can alter that hold. Like if you feel like you're getting a lot of benefit from it, you want to hold a little longer, of course, do so.
Now, where am I supposed to be getting benefit here?
A lot of places. I would say
So where I'm really, that's the primary area, is those, whatever they are in my inner thighs.
yes, correct. So that's one of the possible places. So I added this exercise in for you specifically for your lower back.
Yeah, and here, it's very much my lower left back.
Perfect. Especially you got it, especially when you go to each side.
And if I can go out far enough up into my armpit and actually even my tricep.
You got it. I'm sure those triceps are very aware of this after those extensions you just did.
Oh, okay.
Plus,
Yeah, I didn't remember that from last time, but this time that's noticeable.
plus, this is a great lat and shoulder stretch. So again, many different areas. Those adductors, ADD, on the inside of your legs, definitely getting a good stretch. But the original intention for this again was, or is, your back in general, lats, so much so forth. Very good. Was that 2 to each?
No, that was just the first one.
Okay.
This is mostly the lats. That's where I'm getting it.
That makes sense.
The other side of having it warmer is my allergies immediately begin to kick in. I can't.
Before things start blooming over there?
Right, yeah. Because that's not going to happen for another month or two. Well, no, that'll happen in March. Yeah, actually, so it'll. Actually can't talk and do this.
yeah, you can just be silent, listen, and soak it all in. And I'm hoping, and you probably have noticed, you've gotten dramatically better with this exercise as well, especially on this side. Really both sides, but obviously your back wasn't really moving at all for the most part a month or so ago, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very good. Moving on. After that stability ball rollout is the cross stretch. And we're going to do 2 each side. And I'm going to progress you with this one a little bit more today as well.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody.
So you're just going to get in position and start the stretch as we did last time, focusing more so on breathing. Actually, if you can stop right there for a moment so you can see me. Sorry. I'm going to demonstrate, even though you know the position, I'm just going to show you as far as breathing is concerned.
All right.
Just going to. So when you start here,
right.
Again, you might want to put a pillow or something beside
right
underneath your head.
Yeah.
Is big deep breath here. As you exhale, slowly exhaling all the breath out of your lungs for a moderate stretch. Then you're going to breathe normally here at the top of the repetition or stretch for a few seconds. And then another big deep breath as you basically point this hand towards the ceiling again. And then same thing you did with the first repetition, if you want to call it that, is going down a little farther, breathe normally here for a few seconds, then pull as much air into your lungs as you can again as you point your hand towards the ceiling.
All right. Okay.
You'll be able to go down a little bit farther with each one without forcing anything.
Okay. Oh, there's the blue. Well, that's what I got first. Okay.
Again, as you know, keyword is moderation. After you exhale, hold and breathe normally. When you're feeling that good stretch right around there, just breathe a few good normal breaths. And then when you decide to, the next breath or two, you're going to inhale as much air into your lungs as you can again as you slowly draw that left hand and point it towards the ceiling again. And then as you slowly exhale in unison, dropping that shoulder specifically, you got it. Yeah. Looks great, Mark. One more on the side, just like that. Big deep breath.
Oh, hello.
Did you unlock something there, Mark?
Sorry?
So did you unlock something there? Or are you feeling a little more or what?
Well, no, I just touched the floor. I wasn't expecting to. I was thinking my proprioception, my awareness of where my body is not real clear in this position.
Well, that's perfect. Your hand is just out of sight for me, but that's fine. I can see the position you're in. It's fine, but that's great that you've never gotten that far yet until today.
Well, not without bending my arm or something, but I was, yeah.
Yeah, with proper form and feeling in the right area, correct.
See, so I watched you keep that back leg fairly straight, which I had not been doing, and I'm trying to do that when I can see. Okay. I must say, when I'm doing this, I'm having no conception of trying to tighten my abs.
Correct. You were correct about that as well. Or good observation.
I don't think it would be real helpful.
You are correct.
Oh.
Did you remember a deep breath there, Mark? You may have, I just didn't see it. I like to think of packing as much air into your lungs as you can and then slowly just releasing that. Correct? Looks great, Mark. At least one more on this side. I'm not rushing you either. As we've talked about in the past, the squeaky wheel gets the most grease. In this case, if this is the tighter side, just need a little more attention. If that's true, we'll find out here on this third movement. Now we're not forcing it. If needs a little more time,
No.
maybe an extra breath on this side, an extra movement on this side.
All right, so I was feeling that. Can you see me?
I can.
Actually up into here,
Okay.
all the way across here even,
Okay.
as well as all down the back, lower thoracic area. But yeah, interesting. And actually the back of my hand was touching the floor without me making an extra effort to do that. I mean, I wasn't pushing my hand down.
Very good.
All right.
I know I'm going to be asking a lot. I'm going to be asking a lot with this question, but do you remember feeling a stretch across your chest on the other side, the first side that you did?
Yeah. I was. It wasn't quite as much, but I was getting that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was
Very good.
maybe to about here, as opposed to this side, because I was more intentional about it. I was like, okay, well, can I get? You know, it was pretty much across the chest. Yeah.
Very good. So that's, again, for a couple reasons. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that the side you just did was a little tighter. So you were probably,
Yeah, a little bit.
even though you weren't trying to cheat, but you were trying to get a little more movement out of the side you just did. And in turn, you end up stretching more of your chest, which is not a bad thing. Obviously, if you have any shoulder pain, then that's not good. But also the fact that you did push-ups earlier and use those pectoral muscles are making those muscles feel more prominent and aware.
Okay.
But good, again, great body awareness and observation. Moving on to the sitting QL stretch.
Yeah. No.
And as you just practiced, and we're continuing to progress with breathing and motions, same thing here is when you go from sitting upright, essentially in this position, you're going to inhale as much air into your lungs as you can. Correct, you're getting it. And then slowly, as you exhale and release all that air, you're going to gently stretch forward in moderation, not forcing anything. And we'll do basically 3 movements, I guess the best word for them, 3 stretches. So once you get down to a full stretch, then you're going to breathe normally for at least a few breaths as you just hold that stretch. Then, just like you did with the previous stretch, you are going to slowly sit upright as you inhale as much air into your lungs as you can, and then repeating the process. You got it.
Wow. Is that enough?
One more on this side, unless you feel like you should switch.
All right, now.
Good, moderate stretch. Also another cue that might help, as we talked about in the past, is getting to the edge of that stretch and not crossing or going over that edge. So you're getting a good benefit from the stretch, but obviously not crossing that threshold into something that might be detrimental.
All right, I'm getting a little nervous about my knee clicking. This is the knee that doesn't have any meniscus. And I'm just listening to the bones crunch up against each other.
Interesting. I would not have guessed that with your leg straight.
Well, there's some movement, and it probably makes sounds all the time, but I'm usually not that close to it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You don't have your ear up to it most of the time.
Right. I don't know that I've ever gotten that stretch, though, that deep on that side.
Totally agree.
Might help to start from a little more.
Especially with the first movement in any of these stretches, being more careful. And I think you understand that by now. And you'll just progress a little bit with each of these motions, each of these movements you make.
Yeah, but this is my first time on this side, and I'm much interesting.
Correct. You got it. Oh yeah, you're getting down pretty far on that side, actually. That's what you were saying.
Yeah. I'm not sure that doing that turn first didn't help, but maybe
Definitely
try it without doing that and see what the difference is. Oh, those hamstrings. Just love this.
Excellent. Showing those hamstrings who's boss, right?
I think we have a gentleman's agreement here, which is
Got it. Again, looking better than ever with this motion.
that's interesting. Down there on the outside of my foot, right in there, I'm feeling maybe just from doing that. Can you see what I'm?
I cannot
probably
see the
can't
foot.
see. Oh, all right. So assume for a moment my foot's flat on the floor, and I'm kind of gripping it like that.
Mhm.
And I'm actually feeling some action right in that outer side of the heel. All right, one more, right?
Yes, sir.
If I go for that's not the heel, now the heel. Chin on the knee, not quite.
Someday, honestly, someday. You have made I would guess, I don't know, 500% improvement over the past few weeks from your hip.
Yeah, well, I can conceive that that's possible, which when I was doing yoga, I was like, that's just never going to happen. Oh, huh, okay.
So just as a reminder, Mark, I know, and I think you can feel your progress, but it's also important for me to point out things and for me not to assume that you are aware. We started out recently, even though we have done this motion in the past in beginning training, after you injured your back, we had to start with just the stability ball rollout. Before we got to this, So this was not even within your realm
Right, no.
a few weeks ago. So just, it's important that you understand the progression here.
Yeah, the recovery as well as the progression even beyond where we were before.
You
Yeah,
got it.
I'm
And one last exercise, one last stretch of the day is the runner stretch.
oh goody.
One of your other favorites.
Probably don't need that.
Yes, good adjustment.
Well, we hadn't done this in a long time.
Correct.
And you want my knee down, right?
Nice and easy. Yes, correct. In moderation. And I think your left shin is pretty vertical. I'm missing it a little bit. If it's not, there we go. Correct. That looks better. Again, easy, especially with this first one. Wow, Mark. 100% improvement from your last session in this movement.
Well, we got to this at the end.
Yeah, but not nearly as close. Your left elbow is almost on the ground there. With
It's pretty. It's scraping. Yes, it is.
So literally 100% improvement from your last session with this movement. And all these stretches, or most of them, play off each other in different ways. For example, the stability ball rollout that you did earlier, when you mentioned, look at that. Excellent, Mark. Yeah, buddy.
Elbow down, down.
Yeah. We've got touchdown, landing.
Ah.
Excellent. That's a first ever. And one more each side, Mark. Please take your time.
I think this is really mostly just about letting go.
look at you coming to spiritual revelations.
How much of this is mental?
That's a great question. It's greatly mental. I have no clue what the percentage is.
Well, watching this woman learn to swim on video this morning. I mean, it took her a long time to get around to, well, I'm afraid I'm going to drown if I breathe in. Well, if you don't breathe in, you're not going to last for very long. All right, so my elbow is solidly on the ground now.
Both of them are, right?
Yeah.
That's great, Mark. Perfect. Yeah, this type of, not just training, but this type of the revelation that you just had is becoming, I would like to think it's becoming more and more prominent in like the physical therapy world, where it is about coming over those mental blocks and allowing these motions to happen, as cliche as it sounds. Our nervous system takes over, but you're getting more in tune with that and able to control things that you weren't able to control in the past, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it isn't so much about control as it is about giving up control to the body.
Yeah, you got it. Correct.
And that's the same in meditation, or at least the meditation that I'm working on. All right, here we go.
Well, that's an excellent point, Mark. It may be the meditation as well. I mean, I can almost guarantee that's a big part of it as well.
Hey, I just went right into this.
You did, like it was nothing. Almost. Excellent, Mark.
You want me to do this for how long?
Just a few seconds.
All right.
Obviously, you can stop whenever you want.
Oh, there's quite a bit of activity available in this quadrant.
Was it stretching?
Yeah.
Great.
I think that's stretching.
Transverse abdominis. So we have muscles that also, not even just not just abs as we consider them in the front, but
Right.
we have obliques on each side. But then we have almost basically like a girdle, a sheet of muscle that wraps around.
Right, right.
That's responsible for our our side-to-side movements. So that's
Right.
stretch you're feeling there.
Okay.
Excellent job, Mark. Great.
All right.
session.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You got it.
And thank you for the extra time.
Not a problem. We got through that full round of exercises. That was a lot. And
No, I can't feel it. Maybe I can walk. All right. Thank you.
you're welcome, Mark. Have a good one.